Today's focus will be on the offense. Receiving, catching, blocking, you name it. Again, with so much to cover, I'm going to jump right in. Before we get too deep into this, please click the like icon, click the subscribe and notification icon so you will be informed when a new video has been posted. Press wide receiver coverage is all wrong. Pressing should not send your receiver 5 yards further in his route. So if I'm running a 5-yard in route, you pressing me should not make my receiver run 10 yards. That makes no sense. The offensive line will still be missing blocks. They're going to use this removal of the nano blitz protection as an excuse for this. That's what they're going to do. But there's more to it. The offensive line blocking control options are still limited. So if you're going to remove this nano blitz protection, then you need to provide more blocking options. You got a offensive lineman as that's part of your team. So I'm sure the blocking from an offensive lineman standpoint is not simply block max, block left, and block right. Come on now. It can be much better than that. Offensive line blocking diagram doesn't show for runs. So do they do anything? And if not, then disable the option. In other words, if you say block left, block right, or whatever, doesn't mean anything. Why doesn't it show up on the diagram like when you're in a passing play and you say max protect or block left, block right? Poor pulling offensive linemen blocking not just linebackers but safeties as well. And they shouldn't stop when turning to block up the field that clogs the running lane. So make that a smooth transition. You're just running around a corner. Just run and block. And one of the main things that gets me is block the person that you encounter in that path. Don't just bump into them and continue down the field. Screens that keep the running back behind the blocks rather than out way ahead of the blockers. We'll continue to see that. Poor or lack thereof leading effects on routes out of the backfield. So when you see those wheel routes, they seem to be stuck to that route. You can't throw and lead them out further towards the sideline or maybe even a little bit further in, but that should be more of a drop pass if you do that because you're running away from the ball. But we all know that the passing system in this game is not mimicking the NFL in any way whatsoever. So let's be clear about that. They still will not have players lining up for no huddle and no huddle breaks. Let me repeat that again. They still will not have players lining up for no huddle plays, and there still won't be huddle breaks. Let me put it that way. The RPOs, halfback runs, are pretty much ineffective. And it's because of the way you get the ball and get the control of the player. It's too long. So many times it steers them right into a defensive end. Many RPO play action plays make the jet receiver pointless because he pretty much will run out of bounds unless you immediately throw on the ball, which that really doesn't make sense. Go routes that stutter step around 10 to 50 yards downfield after getting ahead of the defensive back. So for some reason, the wide receiver will be ahead of the defensive back, and then they'll stutter step. And then the defensive back now catches him, and now if the ball's in the air, of course, that's an easy interception. And it's for no reason. If you're ahead of a player, why would you stutter step? I don't know. Double moves logic still is broken and pretty useless. Console control running backs running and breaking defensive line and linebacker tackles with no special moves. That's the key there. No special moves. They're just breaking the tackles. While yours get stopped by safeties and defensive backs. And many times these aren't known as power runners, but yet they can easily break your defensive line and linebacker tackles, but yours won't break those other tackles. That will cover offense for today. Again, I apologize for the fast pace, but I'm trying to get this series in as a reference for gamers and into my game launch first look video, which will be similar to my 5-minute check video I do with each version.